If you gave me the Sonicare 1100 series and told me this was the last toothbrush I could ever use, I wouldn't be that disappointed. It's a pretty decent brush for a reasonable price. Most importantly, it cleans the teeth well. Oral-B's equivalent brushes are cheaper to own, but are not quite so good in battery performance or small design touches. Personally, I do think it's worth spending a bit more money to get the likes of the 3100 or 4100 series from Philips instead. But if you want a cheap Sonicare brush, then this is possibly the most cost-effective option available. The 1100 series is a solid option for first-time electric toothbrush users. It's got that simple to use, no fuss design and usability aesthetic to it. I commend it for not being bogged down with unnecessary features. Whilst Oral-B's Vitality with expansive rubber grips might initially feel nicer and more secure in hand, the pitted surface captures all the toothpaste residue and can be a difficult surface to clean. This isn't a problem I've faced in my time with the 1100. Cleaning has been easy. My two complaints about this brush are: number one, the lack of a pressure sensor. There is no way to tell if I'm brushing too hard. To be fair to Philips, at this price point I wouldn't expect it to come with such, nor is it mission critical, but it is a feature I know many find useful. The key is not to apply too much force as you brush to avoid doing damage to the tooth surface. If you tend to scrub your teeth, then investing in a model with a sensor is beneficial. Number two is the charging cable. I don't love plugging a cable into the base of the brush. I have to lay it down to charge rather than leave it stood upright. I know it's a bit of a first world problem, and yes, the other end might be a USB connection, thus giving some flexibility. Because it is a cable rather than a stand, it does make it more compact. But with the exception of the Philips One by Sonicare, every other brush from Philips uses a charging stand, so why is the 1100 series any different? Being a proprietary style cable rather than the more universally accepted Type-C cable does mean, should I lose it, it becomes more difficult to source a replacement and keep my brush charged. Had it been Type-C, it would have been better as many phones use the same cable and would have reduced the amount of items needed if travelling with the brush. For anyone wondering if a charging port in the base of the brush impacts reliability, I have seen no evidence to date that confirms this, despite my own concerns in times gone by. Redeeming itself somewhat is the claimed minimum of 2 weeks battery life. In my hands-on testing I achieved 52 days. This is far better than the Oral-B equivalents, and we do get an LED notification light for some feedback on the remaining power and charge status. Something that can't be said for the O-Clean Endurance and Oral-B Vitality, which I know irritates many users. It's also great to see Philips embracing repairability and sustainability somewhat. Not that I would hope it would be necessary, but the battery can be easily removed and replaced at home should it fail, giving me and you the opportunity to extend its usable life. It should be noted that all the packaging is paper based now, no plastic in sight other than the brush itself, and the brush heads are now made from 70% bio-based plastic. Positive progress. Sadly, at the time of review, Philips offers no recycling program like the challenger brand Surrey does. Personally, I think they are missing a trick here. And for those wondering, China is the country of manufacture. The one cleaning mode produces up to 31,000 movements, and the plaque removal results are more than satisfactory. No, the cleaning action isn't as intense as some other brushes, and I don't have the option to change the mode or amount of power available. If this is something you like the idea of, you will need to consider the 3100 and 4100 for such options. A 2-minute timer with automatic power off and 30-second pacer are built in. These are so helpful in my opinion for achieving an even clean of the teeth and encouraging me to brush for the right amount of time. Whilst in use, the 1100 produces an audible humming sound that I measured at approximately 57 decibels, a little lower than most brushes. At 97 grams it's pretty lightweight too, with the handle depth and thickness not exceeding 2.5 centimeters. Those with limited dexterity might enjoy it being light, but might struggle to get a good grip as the handle has that slimmer profile. With a retail price of around £50 but a typical selling price of half that, over 3 years the 1100 costs in the region of £80 to own. It's more than some of the competition, primarily as a result of the brush heads being twice the price of the Oral-B equivalents. Taking into account the features and performance, the 1100 scores 4.2 out of 5, a solid and respectable score. Links to buy are in the video description alongside my recommended alternatives.